Today, we are catching the world's smallest bullet train, Malaysia's ETS Express. While it's not quite as fast as Asia's other standard gauge bullet trains, the ETS Express is the world's fastest train running on tiny meter gauge track. So join me on board as I travel to the Malaysian capital in the train's business class, featuring massive recliner seats, show you the stylish interior, and enjoy the complimentary meal service before we arrive into historic Kuala Lumpur. We begin our journey from the Georgetown ferry and bus terminal, located within Malaysia's second largest urban area. Despite there currently being no railway on Penang Island, KTM, the Malaysian state railway operator, do actually operate a ticket office before getting on the connecting ferry service. The ferry terminal is small but pleasant, with ferries leaving for the train station every 30 to 20 minutes. And after a quick 20 minutes on the sea, we arrive into the ferry terminal at Butterworth. And now the train portion of our journey can begin from Butterworth Station, which is part of the large shopping center and transportation hub complex called Penang Central. Everything is well signposted, and it's easy to both find the train station, the mall, as well as the ferry service. However, once we reach the actual train station part of the complex, this straightforward and easy experience ends. As the actual train station is tiny and very overcrowded when a large express train bound for Kuala Lumpur is about to leave. Train service from the station consists of KTM commuter service to Padang Besar and Ipoh, as well as ETS service towards Kuala Lumpur. Access to the platforms is through ticket barriers, so make sure to have your ticket ready. I bought mine online, so I just have to scan the QR code from the PDF. As you're only allowed onto the platform a few minutes before departure time, everyone is crammed into this small and hot room while we wait for boarding. However, I managed to sneak my way onto the commuter train platform to catch this train arriving. It was also a much more pleasant place to wait, instead of being with the crowds up in the hot room. This is the KTM commuter service bound for Padang Besar, operated by one of the Chinese-built Class 92 trains from 2012. And after the departure of the commuter train, we were finally unleashed onto the platform and allowed to board our express train bound for Kuala Lumpur. And here we can catch the first glimpse of our baby bullet train taking us down to the capital. This is the Class 93 Baby Bullet, built by Chinese manufacturer CRRC. They have a sleek design mimicking that of other Asian high-speed trains, and with a design speed of 180 km per hour, it's the fastest train ever designed for meter gauge track. However, they are currently limited to 145 km per hour in regular service here in Malaysia. And as we'll be departing soon, I think it's about time we head on board. I'm traveling in business class today, which is located in Coach A. Seat reservation is mandatory, and you can pick a seat when booking your ticket online. I have today selected seat 12A, located here towards the end of the carriage. All seats in business class rotate to face the direction of travel. And after letting a freight train go ahead of us, we are ready to depart Butterworth a minute behind schedule. And now, as we depart Butterworth Station, I think it's about time we take a look at the route we'll be following today. Leaving from Butterworth, our train will head south, making 3 intermediate stops before reaching the 2 stations serving Kuala Lumpur. This is scheduled to take 3 hours 35 minutes to cover the 380 kilometers, giving the train an average speed of 106 kilometers per hour. We only get up to speed for a couple of minutes before we have to slow down for our first stop. This is Bukit Mertajam, situated centrally in one of the largest suburbs of the Georgetown Penang metropolitan area. It's a busy station. And it's also an important transfer point, situated on one end of the freeway junction between the main line from Kuala Lumpur to Padang Besar, close to the border with Thailand, and our line coming from Butterworth. First we see the line taking trains from Butterworth heading north curve away right here. Shortly after, we see the line coming from north, allowing trains to head straight to Kuala Lumpur without going into Butterworth. And it was also right after passing over the junction here, the complimentary meal service in business class began. Served from the trolley right to your seat, you get ETS branded water, cutlery. There was no choice for the meal, but today's was chicken and rice. You also receive headphones, which are to be used with the entertainment system I'll show you a bit later, as well as a small snack box. The snack box contained an apple juice as well as some peanuts. The meal wasn't award-winning or anything, but the chicken wasn't dry, the sauce was tasty, and a healthy portion of rice filled me up for the next few hours. Overall, a pretty good offering, especially considering the price of a business class ticket, which I'll reveal later in the video. After the meal service, our train passes over this area of the line that looks like it's been flooded. But this is actually Malaysia's first man-made lake reservoir, constructed to supply irrigation water to the area. Our train continues to speed along this lush and green part of Malaysia, running at or close to a maximum speed of 145 km per hour for most of it. Just under an hour after leaving Butterworth, we arrive in Taiping. The town is probably most well known in Malaysia for bad weather, being located in the wettest place of Peninsular Malaysia. However, the town also sits at the foothills of some mountains, meaning some of the best scenery on this journey is about to begin. Being on board the ETS Express service means we skip most intermediate stations. These are instead served by either KTM commuter service or lower tier ETS services, branded as Platinum, Gold or Silver respectively. The express service we are catching is actually a relatively new service, being added with the timetable revision back in August 2024. With us now being roughly halfway through the journey, let's take a closer look at the seat. In business class, this comes in massive armchairs, featuring an adjustable headrest, lots of recline, behind the seat in front of you, you'll find a storage pocket, including instructions for how to use the entertainment system. It's also where you'll find the footrest. In the armrest is where you'll find the tray table. It's deployed like this, and it's very flimsy. Especially for something calling itself business class, I would expect a better table, something larger and more sturdy for a laptop. However, there are both plugs and USB ports. In front you'll also find a coat hook, as well as this small pocket which I assume is a Japanese style ticket holder. In the other armrest is where you'll find the train's entertainment screen. These have always seemed quite gimmicky to me, but you could order food from it, if everything wasn't basically sold out. Or watch my friend Super Alps take another train with gimmicky entertainment screens. The seat is well padded and comfortable, so it's pretty good overall, but I've certainly travelled in better. We still have the rest of the train left to check out, as well as the second complimentary food service coming up. But before I'll get to that, we are now approaching our last intermediate stop before Kuala Lumpur. This is Ipoh. Sitting between two mountain ranges, the city and surrounding area has historically been important for mining, but also known for its limestone caves, where many Buddhist temples were built. With our station stop now complete, we'll be non-stop to Kuala Lumpur. Taking just shy of 2 hours to reach Kuala Lumpur from here, this is the longest scheduled non-stop segment of any passenger train in Malaysia. And as we speed towards the capital, a complimentary snack service is offered, consisting of a muffin as well as a hot drink. A few moments later, we speed past the main depot for Malaysia's ETS trains, where a few of the older Class 91 models are parked up. Unfortunately, I didn't catch a glimpse of the new Class 94 train sets that are set to enter service this year, when ETS service is being expanded south towards Johor Bahru. I personally think these new trains look like a Class 93 but with choppy cheeks, so in terms of exterior design, it's probably a step backwards. Mining and minerals play a large role in this area of Malaysia. But if you don't like factories and big hills for scenery, well, you're out of luck. Because I couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work at all. Which was slightly surprising, given that the tablet thing in the seat could stream YouTube without issue. So if you don't feel like looking out the window and forgot to get a SIM card for your phone, well, you can still go for a wander around the train. Business class is always located in coach A, but only some ETS train sets have it, with others being all economy. It comes in a nice 2+1 layout, with space for luggage at the end of the carriage. It's also fitted with plenty of information screens, showing journey information in English and Malay. Continuing down the train, we will get to economy class. Economy class is laid out in a 2+2 layout, with airline-style seating mostly. Seats don't rotate to face the direction of travel, but are otherwise quite similar to business class, just a bit narrower. Further down the train, there is an onboard cafe, selling light meals as well as hot and cold drinks. On board the train, there's also one accessible toilet, as well as a prayer room. Oh, and let's not forget to have a look at the toilet. It's easily locked using this knob. The toilet is fairly small, but it was clean. It was stocked with paper towels, as well as got working water, and an almost full soap dispenser. Nothing to complain about here. Oh, and the toilet is also the only part of the train with an open window. And as we are now rapidly approaching Kuala Lumpur, the weather for some reason decided to take a turn for the worse, with lots of rain starting to pour down right on top of us. But as we approach the suburbs of Kuala Lumpur, the weather clears up again. So, what do I think of the ETS Express trains, and how much does business class cost? Overall, these trains are quite nice. Unfortunately, being narrow gauge and running at higher speeds, the train can be a bit wobbly and bumpy at times, which is probably why it's been turned down from its slightly higher design speed. The only real things I could put my finger on were the slightly small tray table and the Wi-Fi not working very well. But overall, I still think the ETS Express is a great way to travel across Malaysia. A business class ticket between Butterworth and Kuala Lumpur set me back 168 ringgit, or about 35 euros. Which I think is rather good value for a fast express train in a comfortable seat. However, there's one thing to be aware of with tickets on Malaysian trains, which I'll tell you after we make our first stop at the 2 stations serving Kuala Lumpur. Our train first stops at the old main station for the city, which, slightly confusingly, is just called Kuala Lumpur. And I personally think it looks much better than the new station, which will be coming up shortly. But before we arrive there, I must tell you to book your tickets in advance, especially in business class. Business class can often sell out weeks in advance, and economy can do too, especially around holidays. Seat reservation is mandatory, and most trains do leave fully booked. Tickets can be purchased at stations, online or on the app through official KTM Malaysian railway channels. And here we are approaching the tunnel, taking us into the underground platforms at KL Sentral, the city's main station, and our train's terminus. So, what do you think of Malaysian Railways and their ETS electric train service? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for joining me on this trip. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Blue Sky at intercitysimon.com, where I usually post live from my travels in real time. Thanks for watching.